Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Can we talk about Jem and the holograms? Kristen, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This is the penultimate Can We Talk About Jem episode. I'm gonna forego the normal intro here, because just let that sink in for a second. We got one episode of Jem left, Kristen.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Jem's gonna go on forever.
I'm sorry, Joe, I'm in denial.
There is one episode of Jem after this, Kristen, but until we get there, we have a task at hand. It is this episode. I am a disgrace to the uniform. My name is Joe.
I'm a band called Nirvana. I'm Kristen.
And we are watching Jem and the Holograms via Shout Factory's Jem and the Holograms Truly Ultra CEOs complete series box set, as well as The Wonderful World of Netflix. Kristen, have you been watching anything on Netflix as of recent?
I'm thinking, and no, I don't think so.
I started watching Miss Congeniality.
Okay.
And then I stopped, and I don't remember why I stopped.
It's not a Sandra Bullock fan, huh? That's her, right?
Yes?
Aha! I think.
I think? I feel like you watched Miss Congeniality a lot as in the childhood years.
No, I think you're thinking of Mom.
Mom watched Miss Congeniality a lot?
Yep.
So you watched it tertiarily, I guess, because she's like, come watch this cool movie with Sandra Bullock.
Here's a good gauge for it. I've probably seen as much of Miss Congeniality as I've seen of The Shawshank Redemption. That's how you know it's a mom movie.
This week, Kristen, we have the second Humanizing Stingers episode, except, so, what happened in A Change of Heart, Minx's change of heart, the titular change of heart, if you will, is mostly annoying and a product of a near-death experience. Whereas Riot's humanizing episode is one of these things like, oh, well, it was his upbringing that made him like this, even though it's not a very good explanation as to why Riot is the way he is.
No, it really seems like rock music made him an asshole. I don't know what the cartoon is trying to say about that. Also, Riot has the benefit of everyone already being super soft on him at the beginning of the episode, whereas from the beginning of In a Change of Heart, everyone was like, Minx, fucking stop it.
This episode is Riot's Hope, Kristen. It's, again, another father problem episode as written by Roger Slifer, who is... No, he's not 3 for 3. He did not write Out of the Past. Somebody else did. Some other person wrote it. If anything, Kristen, with what we get in this episode with the Stingers, they should be, like, more humble than Jem, given their beginnings. Like, you know, they're not orphans, but they lived a probably worse life than all of Jem and the Holograms.
Ah, you're saying that Jem's closeness with her family pampered her.
Yes?
We just don't see the actual results of that. Too much love, unfortunately, turned her into a good person who isn't interesting.
Maybe they got famous too quick, like Regine or something.
They were homeless for just a little bit too long, and it made them terrible. Good lesson.
Anyway, Kristen, as I said, this is an episode, as such, of Out of the Past or Father's Day, a very dad-heavy episode, parent-heavy episode.
Sit down, let Riot rap to you.
He's going to turn that chair around and sit real casual like Kristen, so let's rap.
Me and my friends are Jem girls. Jem is my name. Exciting adventure, fashion, and fame. Once you're a Jem girl, you're never the same. Come on and be a Jem girl. Jem is my name. Me and my friends are Jem girls. Jem is my name. Truly outrageous, that's a Jem girl. Glamour, fashion, and fame. Exciting adventure, fashion, and fame. Once you're a Jem girl, you're never the same. Come on and be a Jem girl. Jem is my name. Jem.
This episode, Kristen, again, written by Roger Slifer, parent problem episode specialist.
High school guidance counselor Roger Slifer.
We start with a man reading the LA Daily News. Do we get the name of Riot's dad in this episode, Kristen?
Buzz.
Riot and Clash are related.
Oh, that's creepy.
They never interact with Clash.
Nope. Clash is dead, just like her mom.
We do learn that Riot's mother's name is Mildred, but yes, we start with Riot's dad, who I referred to as Dad Riot or Riot's dad throughout all of my notes here.
Sounds good.
Reading the LA Daily News with the text, Middle East heats up, as the headline, and we are immediately endeared to this man because he's just like, we ought to send in the big guns to clean up that place once and for all. I love America.
I'm supposed to be sympathetic.
His wife here, Mildred, again, Riot's mom, does classic wife things like, oh dear, you said you were going to relax today. Let me pour you some coffee.
Can you tone down the patriotism a little bit? It's getting creepy.
How's a man supposed to relax when the world is falling apart?
It feels modern suddenly.
Some things never change. Mm-hmm. Riot just shows up here. He's just like, hey, can I join in on this rampage? Because, sounds like you're having fun. Hi there, I'm Riot. So Riot's dad isn't too happy about Riot showing up here, going straight to, what in the blazes are you doing here?
To be fair, yeah, apparently he hasn't been home for 5 years. And he's just like, hello.
I'm here. He didn't even knock on the door.
Without a shirt on. Shameful. I'm saying Riot's dad is right.
He brought a present, Kristen, mostly for his mom, because it seems like she actually likes Riot. She goes and hugs him like, oh, Rory, you're back. Ugh.
Oh, haven't seen you in 5 years. Cell phones don't exist, which makes life super complicated.
The present is a Stingers album, Kristen. Their first album, which I believe says Hit Town in the corners.
It's called Hit Town.
That should be the name of a greatest hits album, Kristen!
It is their greatest hits album so far.
Riot's dad ain't too happy about this as well. About all these things, really. Here's where, yes, he says that Riot has been gone for 5 years, and he can't just expect welcome in arms. He can't, open arms. He can't expect it.
Is Riot's dad the most annoying character in Gem so far? I mean, we only have one episode left.
So far, yeah.
Like, inflammatory, angry army man is an irritating character.
We'll find as the episode goes on, Kristen, Riot's dad does not let up until maybe the last 2 minutes, so we're gonna hear a lot of
They act like there is some kind of push and pull between Riot and his dad, but what I'm seeing is an abusive father and husband.
Pretty much.
So whatever, forgive him, he doesn't know what he's doing.
Riot says he had hoped that they'd be proud of his success, and Riot's dad, here we go, Kristen, the start of, what are you doing? Prancing around in front of strangers.
Like a whore.
And then he throws the album into the pool. That's not a record player, Kristen.
No, it's a pool. I did watch it and think to myself, like, well, yeah, the envelope's gonna get a little bit soggy and horrible, but the record's gonna be fine.
He doesn't even bother when, Jem comes over later, like, maybe you should listen to Riot and his music. He's just like...
Jem looks over and she's like, is that a record floating in your pool?
Why don't you listen to it? He's like, it's probably... I don't have a record player. It's against Army regulation. Riot grabs his dad's collar. He's pissed, as he should be. Mom attempts to break things up here, only to get a stay out of this, Mildred, from the father.
Might as well have backhand her.
Riot's not welcome. You're not welcome here. You just upset your mother, and it's not me at all. I'm not the reason.
Not me smacking on my adult son, like I have been my whole life. Sure, that doesn't make my wife uncomfortable.
It's you and your sexy hair. Get out of here.
Ugh, a painted woman of the night.
Riot says his goodbyes and turns to leave.
Hey, see, if this were modern times, when men and women were equal, the mom would just do something. She wouldn't have to ask for permission.
She would go, please, stop him from leaving. And he goes, you're better off without him.
Why didn't they try having more kids? If the first one sucked so much.
We're gonna have a good Christian household with one son. If we have a daughter, we're gonna throw her down the well.
No daughters. They can't join the army because it's the 80s.
Riot's mom faints at this point, and we see the album sink into the pool. We fade to Stinger sound here, Kristen.
All the holograms are in a cargo elevator that fits all 50 of them.
And Kimber plays audience surrogate here, Kristen, going, what are we doing here?
Well, Jem says that they were invited to the party. The Stingers want to share their success with everyone.
They wanted to gloat, you mean, says only Shayna's line of the episode, I'm pretty sure.
Yup, no lines for Aja. When's Aja done? I'm so afraid. So we start this episode with Jem already, moistened up for Riot.
Kristen, is Jerrica so naive that she thinks that she needs to accept any offer from the Stinger, just to, make it look like goodwill from the horny blonde people? Just to, why would they go to Stinger Sound? I don't understand.
Did they forget that the most recent interaction they had with the Stingers involved them bullying one of their own band members to suicide? Oh, suddenly, no, Riot's fine. He kidnapped you! He kidnapped you!
Kimber accuses Jem of having a thing for Riot, and she turns away blushing, saying that he's a very talented musician, and that's all.
Who kidnapped you? And then lied to your friends and family.
Jem's got some problems in this episode, Kristen.
Yeah, when I was watching this, I was on Twitter and I said, me watching Riot's Hope, hey Jem, what the fuck is your problem?
The elevator doors open here, and there's a dude right at the elevator door. It opens, it's just like, hey, welcome to the Stingers party. It's me, Zipper.
He's going up in the world. He's the elevator guy at Stinger Sound.
I'm a bellhop now. I'm almost gonna be Eric Raymond's go-to crime guy, and I gotta call him Eric Raymond because he's officially not my dad anymore. I've emancipated myself.
Gotta look good on paper for the resume. I'm not staying here forever.
One day I'm gonna own this place.
His big dreams.
So, Kristen, the party has Are You Feeling Alright playing in the background here, and Kimber goes outrageous, which it might be the last Kimber outrageous that we get, Kristen. As we scan the floor of this less than mildly outrageous party.
It's a rooftop party where Riot is having depression in the corner and not working the room, so I don't know how anyone there is able to have a good time when Riot is kind of like the energy of wherever he is.
He's sulking against the wall, and Jem is just like, I better go talk to him here.
Kimber says, give him a kiss for me.
The absolute savage.
Where's Rio this whole episode? Huh?
Where is Rio this whole episode?
I guess we'll never know. We seriously end the series with the love square unresolved.
Riot gives a very flat hello when Jem says her greetings, and Jem's just like, holy shit, he didn't hit on me. Something's going on here.
She's like, hey, Riot, aren't you happy to see me? And he's like, yeah. And then he just walks away.
He's just like, if you'll excuse me, I need to go stare at the wall and not this pretty pink woman.
I get it. The music in the background is Riot not feeling all right.
He gets himself a nice teacup of punch, looking at the ice
Purple
inside.
punch.
A purple punch. Ooh.
Grape punch. Okay.
That was Rapture's decision.
It's for his aura.
I'm feeling we need a lot of purple at the party today. Please take this grape Kool-Aid, please. I'd like the grape Kool-Aid, please.
I bought so much of it at the Costco. Just need to get rid of it.
Song number 1 of the evening here, Kristen. Take it or leave it. Which, if you'll remember previously...
Different context.
Different context, which is one thing that I like a lot about this episode, is Take It or Leave It is used in a different context to where previously it was, I'm an asshole, and you gotta accept that. Now it's, I'm my own man, and you have to accept that.
Which is funny because we have that exact song at the end of the episode, too. It's me, Riot. That's who I am. The song twice.
So, but they're gonna take any opportunity, Kristen, to not write a song.
Of course. We are running low on songs.
Riot sees his mother and his father reflected in the cup here, I guess.
Punch demons.
Kristen, Riot's not trying very hard to hide the fact that he is sad and frustrated at this party, taking this music video to walk away from Jem 3 or 4 separate times, falling down like pizzazz in the last episode here.
I mean, to be fair, he clearly doesn't want to be around her and she can't seem to take a hint. So, if he's just, like, continually putting distance between them, you would think he would be like, maybe at some point she'll just stop.
He kind of, like, faces the wall, puts his fists against it, just like, fuck.
He turns into a surfboard, hops over to the other surfboards.
We see the Stingers album in the Riot family pool, sinking the Llewellyn family pool.
Llewellyn.
Llewellyn.
I meant to commit to memory what Riot's last name is and how it's pronounced, and then I didn't.
Rory Llewellyn.
Llewellyn.
We see Riot and his dad arguing above the water here. Lots of Riot walking away still. We see the ink running off the cover of the album as well, which I don't
Been in the pool for a while.
think that's how that works.
Probably covered in plastic.
Riot walks away again here, Kristen, and we get some cameos at this point.
Nice.
We've got Lindsay,
Yeah,
who provided a statue made of cocaine
of course. She sniffed up all of it, unfortunately.
before she even got there.
Yep, I had a statue. It's gone now.
The thing we didn't get to see of this episode, Kristen, was the Pulp Fiction sequence where she ODs on it and they stick an adrenaline needle in her boob.
And let's see, who does that? Johnny Deacon, probably.
Johnny Deacon playing the part of John Travolta in Pulp Fiction.
It only seems appropriate.
Johnny Deacon, yes, another one of the people who showed up here. Video is here for some reason.
She switched teams.
I can understand Lindsay, Johnny Deacon, and Lena Lerner, the other person that we see. I don't understand why Video was at this party, Kristen.
Let's be honest, the Stingers probably make way better documentary material than Gem and the Holograms.
What, man, where's the episode where Video changes her allegiance to the Stingers because they're going to pay her more? I guess we had Straight from the Heart. That was that episode.
Yep, except it's stuck with Video.
Be nice to change up the alignments a bit. Whatever. It's an 80s cartoon. They're not going to do that.
Status quo!
So we see the ink coming off the album cover again here, and that's the end of the song. It basically, the music video basically didn't happen because we have Riot still staring into his drink here as we come back to reality. So there's a bit of a ruckus. And Riot's dad is just like, what do you mean? The first of 2 times, again, he tries this in this episode.
Yep.
What do you mean I can't get in? I'm his father.
So here's a quick thing. He seems to have issues actually gauging, like, a tangible idea of what the Stinger's success is like. So since he crashed this party, did he not notice that he went all the way to the rooftop of this skyscraper that says Stinger Sound on it that has a billboard of his son on top?
I don't think this is a rooftop party, actually, Kristen. I could have sworn I saw, like, a roof.
Wherever it is. He had to do whatever the 80s version of Googling is, this place, to track down Riot.
He knows Stinger Sound is a place, too, yeah, so... And
He's a failure.
He's reading the LA Times, so at the very most he's, like, in the suburbs of LA then, so he needs to know that Riot is at this place called Stinger Sound. I don't know, whatever.
Does his family hate music so much that they didn't hear anything about Riot being back in the US?
He had the I have no son, he had the Ed Big Head I have no son moment, and that's it.
Well, great. So, he fights off the security guards. He's wearing his army uniform this whole time.
For basically the entire episode.
It's annoying. And he punches Riot.
He slugs Riot right in his beautiful mug here,
Right in the kisser.
knocking over the punch table and all of the punch too.
Somewhere in the background, Rapture's going, no!
The grape Kool-Aid!
You messed everything up!
Your mother's in the hospital and it's all your fault.
Nah! No! That's just wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. My note directly after that is, Jesus.
He says a lot of inflammatory things.
So the Charlie Adler security force arrives here to take him away, and again, as he's being dragged off, it's your fault. You had to come and upset her.
It's not me, and my constantly just up to rage 10 tone. All the screaming that I do and talking about how I don't have a kid.
Jem walks over to help Riot back up here, getting there faster than Minx and Rapture, which...
Ooh. Ouch. Minx and Rapture are making out.
Rapture comments that she didn't know Riot had a father. He told them he was a virgin birth, Kristen.
Of course. Amen.
Riot.
Merry Christmas.
Riot says if his mother is in the hospital, he has to go see her, and Jem offers to drive Kristen, which... So, again, things happening in this episode multiple times. Jem offers to chauffeur Riot around, basically. At least 3 times in this episode.
This episode is people continually offering, like, almost uncomfortably kind things to each other, and everyone just saying yes over and over and over. And it's like, so, hey, here's an appropriate word, congenial.
Not only that, Kristen, they're at Stinger Sound. There's probably a car for the Stingers there already. They need to walk back to...
No! The rest of the holograms have to walk home.
Well, one, they need to walk back to Starlight Music, Kristen, because I doubt that they parked at Stinger Sound.
Mansion.
They need... Well, no, because they took the rock... I was going to assume that they took the Rockin' Roadster to Starlight Music, parked the Rockin' Roadster, and then walked to Stinger Sound.
What? That doesn't make sense. I mean, they're across the street from each other, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Do you know how much parking would probably cost at Stinger Sound, Kristen?
I don't want to argue about this.
We fade to the Rockin' Roadster arriving at Memorial Hospital, Kristen, California's famous Memorial Hospital.
I thought you wrote down Children's Hospital for some reason. I was like, why is Riot's mom at the Children's Hospital?
She's a child at heart. Riot rushes in, and they head right for her room, and he asks, what's wrong with her?
We don't know.
Oh, wow. Advanced medicine in the 1980s, Kristen.
I have a diagnosis.
Broken heart.
No, I have my clipboard here. Let me flip through. Do you want to hear my diagnosis? Oh, it says she's a woman. That seems to be the problem.
She's been reading too many of those classic literature books where women died because needles were too heavy and shit.
That's exactly what I was thinking while watching this episode. Her emotional pain is killing her in this episode.
She basically says, I mean, they do the whole thing later. It's like, she just doesn't have the will to live.
I'm surprised that they don't go the extra step and have the cartoon doctors diagnose her as hysteric.
This is all Dad's fault. No one can stand living with him, Riot says, also being inflammatory.
He is kind of right.
No, you're right.
He's not wrong. Let's put it that way.
Riot isn't wrong, but he's not going about this the right way.
He's not helping.
No.
He is in the right.
They're both very stubborn people as to, like, I need the other person to make the first move, when Riot should really be like, I need to be the person to make the first move here.
They're both stubborn, but Riot's dad is abusive.
Yes. Jem says she's going to be downstairs in the coffee shop here.
You know, the classic 50s coffee shop in the hospital.
Where she and Kimber have a Seinfeld conversation about the functions of Kimber's keyboard or something.
On their business computers?
Jem walks downstairs to, yes, the fucking 50s diner inside the hospital. Why is there a 50s diner inside the hospital, Kristen?
That appears to, like, lead out to the street?
Yeah, so maybe it's just next door. I don't know.
Whatever. Riot's dad's there already. Jem sits down next to the army man that she saw previously. She's still dressed for the party, by the way. It's kind of hilarious for this part. Her stupid side ponytail and her big fluffy polka dot dress. But she sits down. She's like, I'd like some coffee, please. Oh, God, you're right. It's Dad.
Jem says she's sorry about what's going on with his wife, and Riot's dad is immediately like, if it wasn't for his beautiful, sexy aura, she wouldn't be in a coma.
It's somehow Riot's fault that his screaming made his wife pass out.
The woman barely survived Beatlemania. He should know better.
You shouldn't blame Riot.
But it's his fault.
Awesome.
Good to see you're open to dialogue, dude.
That worked out great. So we do start getting his backstory, because he doesn't have any friends, because, surprise, he's not pleasant to talk to. And we get told some stuff.
Yep, time for flashbacks here, Kristen, where it starts with, all I ever wanted was a nice, peaceful, happy family. You know, like you
I
see...
thought my screaming would be conducive to that.
I wanted the Norman Rockwell life, damn it.
No rock stars allowed.
They used to take rides in the country, have picnics. Kristen, Riot's dad owns a military jeep, I guess?
What? Where'd he get that?
I stole it from the base.
Oh, so he's the dishonorable one.
That's his greatest shame, Kristen. He was dishonorably discharged, so he overcompensates and thinks Riot. He pushes on it like how Dad didn't get to be an Eagle Scout.
Oh, It's so I can just imagine now when Riot later, spoilers, gets dishonorably discharged from the military. His dad looking at him going, how dare you? You're a disgrace to this family. How could you steal that Jeep? And then everyone goes, oh, you stole the Jeep.
He sees himself in the mirror, and it comes back, and it just
His hair grows.
It's a vicious cycle, Kristen.
Super funny. Anyway.
When Riot hits 35, he's gonna be like, what did I do in the military? Oh no, I need to be better. My son needs to clear up the family legacy.
And it goes awesome. Or it would have.
And then and then he goes and dies in the Gulf War. Wait, no, wait a minute. That's too soon. That's like 3 years after this episode.
Yep.
Riot's 3-year-old son dies in the Gulf War.
Oh no! Okay, so in this scenario, I guess Riot is pregnant. And then he gets shot on the battlefield. And they do a C-section of the baby right there. And that baby is Revolver Ocelot. And the baby is 3 years old. I think I just described body horror.
Very long trimesters, Kristen.
Super long in Germany.
You breathe the air there for too long. And if you're a dude, you can just get pregnant. That's how Germany is.
Yeah, no problem. And in this scenario, Riot is the boss.
What the fuck are we talking about anymore?
I don't know.
Who's the Sorrow?
Minx and Rapture. I mean, Rapture already sees ghosts and shit.
There we go. They do the fusion dance and they become the Sorrow.
Perfect.
So basically, the flashback continues here. Everything was fine until he got interested in music.
He says that like he's talking about Satanism.
We see Riot walking along here, too. He just walks right past the 50s diner.
Fucking him out of here. I don't care if Jem drove me here.
Jem notices this and is just like, oh, it was a very interesting story, Mr. Llewellyn, but I gotta go.
I'm sorry, what was your name? Blue. Never mind. Bye.
And Jem doesn't pay for her coffee, Kristen.
Very rude, I guess. Hey, with how inflation works, coffee was probably free back then.
Riot's dad mutters that it figures none of Riot's friends would want to hear the truth.
He's a Riot truther.
Jem catches up with Riot, being like, hey, where you going there, buddy?
I guess this is a little bit better that Riot isn't the one who drove there, so we can't say, like, Riot tried to leave without Jem having a way home. But he did just kind of in a fugue state walk off, like, what?
He's in a bit of a fog here, and Jem is like, are you gonna be alright? Let me take you home. And he's like, huh? Yeah.
Question.
Yeah. Yes.
Where is home?
I thought about that, Kristen.
It doesn't seem like it's Gabor Mansion, because you better believe they have a gem alarm on that thing.
It plays truly outrageous, like outside of the dude in the fan's house, and Roxy just gets up and brandishes like a morning star and starts swinging it at people.
Not again! After the Luna Dark thing.
I don't know where Riot's house is, Kristen. It doesn't seem to be a space that he shares with Minx and Rapture either, even though you think that they... unless they just, were at the party and decided to just make out on the punch table all night.
I mean, they were the stars once Riot left, so I bet they were eating it up. And by it, I mean each other. Hey! This is the last episode I can make those jokes in.
Jem asks Riot if he wants to talk about it, and he goes, there's nothing to talk about. But you can come up for coffee if you like.
I know you didn't pay for your other one, so I don't know if you even drank it. Maybe they just poured it back into the carafe.
Aha, I don't have to pay for it if I didn't drink it.
I feel like every single time I watch this episode, I have began to think that Riot tries to take advantage of this opportunity to mac on Jem.
I mean, I'm reminded, Kristen, the you can come up for coffee very late at night thing. That happens in an episode of Seinfeld. And
Yes, it's
code.
code.
I wanted Jem to have the response of, I can't drink coffee late at night, it keeps me up. Goodbye!
Bye! But no, she goes and hangs, and they drank like a shitload of coffee.
Jem, the reason that it took all night for Riot to tell the story was because Jem had to get up to pee every 5 minutes.
Yeah. Hey, quick question, Joe.
Yes.
In your old age of your mid-20s, have you gotten into coffee?
No.
I didn't think so. I don't remember you ever drinking coffee, like, at all.
What I have gotten into is Mountain Dew Kickstart.
I was gonna say, like, energy drinks.
Not even energy drinks, Kristen. Mountain Dew.
So even better. I've definitely, I'm someone who went to art school, and I remember very vividly when I was in high school, our friend Olivia, telling me that if I went to art school, then I would either start smoking or start drinking way too much coffee. And I didn't end up doing either, which is very surprising. All of my roommates in college, my friends, they had very big coffee problems.
Now, depending on Kristen, I do know that when I did work and I had to do, like, wedding stuff a lot of times, which required me to be out of bed, like, very early, I would often get 5-hour energy.
Uh-huh. That's one of those things. It's like economy of time. 5-hour energy takes way shorter of an amount of the time to drink than coffee. And coffee can be bad.
Coffee can be bad, you're right.
I'm super picky about coffee, so it's like even at work with the coffee that they make, which they brew very strong, because a lot of my coworkers also have coffee problems. I straight up, if they'll be like, I'm gonna brew coffee, just saying, well, I wouldn't have some if I do, and I have to go, wait, do we have half and half? Because unless my coffee is mostly not coffee, I straight up can't drink it.
Is it gonna taste like 90% cacao dark chocolate with grapefruit in it?
Is it gonna hurt me when I drink it?
But no, Kristen, to answer your question, I have not developed a coffee problem.
Jem develops one tonight, it seems like.
So they head up here, and Riot asks Jem, apparently, I guess this is the first time that Riot asked this question, which, I mean, I guess they don't have too much time to interact, but it seems like a weird question coming from Riot and again, he only showed up season 3, so he doesn't have the history. Like, you'd think Eric might tell him or something? I don't know.
Nah, Eric doesn't give a shit. Eric is dead.
He asks Jem if she was close to her family, to
And
which
Jem takes this as an opportunity to brag.
me and my father were very close.
Nothing about the mom. Jem probably does still feel like she killed her, so,
My father and I were like that for a while.
Like, until he was 3? Seemed like the screaming started super early.
Riot says he realized as he grew up that his dad was the only one entitled to have an opinion in that house here. I once made the mistake of disagreeing with him.
That's called abuse.
We flash back to Riot's mom teaching him to play something on the piano here, to which the father quickly enters, grabbing the back collar of Riot's, like, tiny polo
He,
shirt.
like, levitates him up. It's super impressive. That's the power of the army for you.
Lifting him off the piano bench with one hand. Yeah, it's weird.
Flies up like he's filled with helium, so he puts him over his knee and starts spanking him.
No son of mine is going to play the piano. That's for women and sissies.
Man! Back in the 80s, it was okay to say things like that, I guess.
Really laying it on thick there, aren't you, Riot's dad?
Yep, I was gonna say before that why they were even allowed to have a piano in the house in the first place, but I guess Riot's mom is a woman.
So, yeah, Riot gets straight up bent over the knee, fucking spanked here, and this would be all dramatic. However, child Riot Kristen, clearly Kath Soucie putting on her Phil and Lil voice.
Ooh, that's awkward. It also continues to get weird because after watching her kid get smacked around, Riot's mom is, like, going over to comfort him, and Riot's dad goes, no, and stops her.
And that was only the beginning.
Oh, God.
We've got Riot here sitting against a tree playing a guitar here. It's like, oh, I played guitar. Where did he get the guitar, Kristen?
They say that Riot's mom got it for him.
Okay. I probably missed that, I guess. Whatever.
Yes.
So
I was thinking that too when we started this part. Me just being like, wait, where'd that come from? Because I was thinking to myself, he stole it, or he went and broke consistently buying new guitars over and over and over again.
no son of mine is going to play the guitar. That's for those hippie fucks and Joan Baez. and then slams it against the ground.
Against the grass.
Against the grass, which also snaps the strings.
Oof. All that rage.
That military rage.
Of course.
He was determined that I would never be a musician.
Teen Riot doesn't cry anymore because he's an adult man and crying is for women and sissies. But he is distraught.
He does put his hands on his face here to end segment 1 in a bit of an awkward place.
Yes.
Segment 2 starts with Jem going, "That's horrible!"
Riot kind of correctly is like, it's some kind of macho thing. So we didn't have the vocabulary for this back in the 80s, Joe. If this were made today, Riot would say toxic.
Toxic masculinity!
Toxic masculinity.
And then he asks, if, for some reason, Riot's just like, "Hey, are you cold? Are you cold right now? You look a little cold." And Jem's like, I'm a little.
She's like touching her shoulders in her stupid party dress she's still wearing. So Riot makes a fire.
Instead of turning up the thermostat, he's got to make it romantic here, so he starts a fire. I guess this is only because they're using the fire as a device to say that Riot is telling the story for a long time, because when we see the fire next, it's all coals.
I guess so. They couldn't show him then going to, in the middle of the next part of the story, several hours later say, "It's kind of hot in here. I'll go turn the thermostat down again for a little bit." Doesn't have the same flow to it.
Riot continues here, saying that music is what helped him keep it together when he was growing up, which sounds like it's an abusive household.
Sure does. I do have to wonder, and this isn't Riot's mom's fault, because obviously it's all the dad's fault, but if he was smashing guitars and shit, why'd she buy him instruments if they knew the dad wouldn't react great to it?
Because she wanted to, she saw the spark in him, Kristen. So...
Why not give him an instrument that's easier to hide, like a recorder?
Give him a triangle.
Perfect. Ding! And that's how he became a rock star.
They moved around a lot, so it was always tough for him to say goodbye to his friends as well. Oh no, I'm sorry. I mean, it still sounds like an abusive household kind of thing, but it's still, yes, also military kind of...
That sounds like code for, also I was being abused, but let's not lay it on too thick in this cartoon.
So, Kristen, the whole moving around a lot thing, too, didn't Riot say in the Stingers Hit Town that they grew up, like, in Germany?
Yeah, and he also says he went to high school with minks. Remember? When he said that, I was like, he's a goddamn liar.
That's right, I forgot.
Is he just a pathological liar? Because we already have one of those, and her name is Jeddah, and I love her very much.
So they retcon that a little bit in this episode.
Bit. Just enough to kind of not really make sense if you're paying attention.
His mother was supportive of the music here, Kristen, but wasn't strong enough to stand up to Riot's dad, basically.
Because she's a woman.
Because she's a woman, yes.
It's very unfortunate.
A Norman Rockwell painting brought to life.
Yep.
The bad parts of the 50s. Also, Riot is doing this, Kristen. He's giving this information illuminated by the soft glow of the fireplace. His legs are spread out very casually. It's probably very distracting.
What we don't see is that Jem has set up an easel and is painting him while he's posed like that. Just struck by inspiration.
Riot's dad was always pushing for Riot to join the military, so he did, because it was the only way that he could get out of the house. And he ends up in Germany for basic training.
Sure. Hey, he's a man of the world.
I do not know how that works.
What year is this supposed to be? How old is Riot? Oh no.
So we see Riot getting his military haircut here, getting shaped into a fit dude, telling Jem about the army, and Jem goes, "That's terrible." And Riot goes, "What, the army? I'm not gonna have you disrespect the flag like that, Jem."
Ah, topical.
But seriously, I hated it.
Yeah, it seems like it sucked. Hey, he got buff for it, so...
He did.
There was an improvement.
Riot thought he was going to be stuck in the military forever, which I don't know how the military works, but I'm sure you get...
I think at some point you stop.
Then again, he would have been the one serving in the Gulf War having that baby over in, on the battlefield.
So maybe it's a good thing he got out when he did.
One day, however, Kristen, on leave, he went to go see a band called Nirvana, and if you'll please line up to the right, we have a line here for jokes about the band Nirvana, and the line's pretty long, so let's get it out of the system right now. Nirvana!
Nirvana! Man, they really know how to pick 'em, don't they? The Misfits, Nirvana, Christy Marks. She's clairvoyant.
Riot went to see them whenever he had a pass, and we see Minx is part of Nirvana here. She is in a slightly less stupid hat than usual, but she's got like a Stevie Nicks like feather earring.
She hasn't had time to spread her wings yet.
I don't even know if Stevie Nicks wears a feather earring, Kristen.
I don't know, that's why I didn't say anything about it.
I thought about it, I'm like, who would wear a feather earring? Probably Stevie Nicks.
Probably Stevie Nicks. Hey, for me being uneducated, checks out.
One night before one of their sets, however, Kristen, there was a big band blow-up as lead singer man chides a Suspender Man, I believe I called him.
Sure.
I don't remember if they give him a name.
Nope.
I think they do. Minx
Oh, wait, no,
whatever.
they do. I just don't remember it, because it's like, Johnny
Stone.
Johnny Stone.
So he chides one of the band members here for being late, and he's out of the band, and this guy goes, this band ain't going nowhere anyway.
He was right.
That's true. And then he left in. Kristen, little known fact, that was Dominic Lerner.
Wait.
No, that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
It was Anthony Julian. There aren't very many African-American characters in this show, Kristen.
There aren't.
Minx is concerned. Kristen, Nirvana can't perform without a backup guitarist.
So, Riot is already on stage when they cut to him putting a guitar around his neck.
It's not even his guitar either. It's just he steals some dude's guitar.
He sure treats it like his own guitar.
He just goes right on stage and picks it up, and it's like, I can be part of the band.
It's already pointy and Stinger's yellow, thankfully.
Lead singer guy is like, what's a social boy know about music, eh? It's me, Jetta. I have a bit of a cold.
So Riot shows him his hot licks, his mangy chops. He was pretty impressed. And that man was David Bowie. Is that too deep of a cut? I don't know.
The whole band joins together here, and the crowd cheers as Top of the Chart starts playing in the background for some reason.
God, what is going on with the timeline of this cartoon?
Minx says that this man would look incredibly handsome with giant hair, and he is the new replacement that they need.
And Riot goes, oh my god, that sounds awesome, but I'm in the military.
So, Kristen, Riot gets implored to reconsider here.
He sure does.
Because, to me, I mean, I don't know. I have love for my country, but, like, going AWOL seems pretty,
So we don't know how military law works, but it seems like that's a bad idea of a thing to do.
A very bad idea, I'd say. I mean, you can still be a success going AWOL, but it's not something you would want to have on your permanent record, I don't think.
No, but all these hot German people don't care.
Yeah, lead singer guy goes, come on, mate, we got a tour that'll take us all over Europe. We're going to play with the Tinkerbillies.
Okay.
So, yeah, Riot decides to go AWOL right there. Right fucking there. Just fuck it.
By the way, excuse me, what's your name?
Call me Rory.
So, wait, is that your name or a nickname thing?
How about Riot? Let's go with that.
Yeah, Riot's good.
So, at this point, we see that the fire has indeed turned to coals. That's how long this story is taking, because again, Jim had to
Well,
get
no,
up
it doesn't turn to coals because that's a different material entirely. Turns into embers,
Whatever. It turns into burned
and
wood.
then he squishes it in his pecs and it turns into diamonds. Wood to diamonds.
Riot says that it was a thrill unlike any he's ever had. It held an allure I couldn't resist. So I took that allure and made it mine. So now I have an allure that nobody can resist. It's the transitive property, you see.
He's an alchemist.
I turned lead into gold. My hair was actually black at one point.
It's a really long story. Anyway.
Riot's only bay is fame, Kristen, clearly, and not the military.
Explains why he likes gems so much. He hungry.
The touring was going great until they went back to Germany and...
Idiots!
Riot was grabbed by the military police.
On stage!
Riot, I don't know if Riot posits this, as, like, kind of, like, positions it as, like, you know, oh, they arrested me for some reason. Like, you know, he couldn't, like, you'd think.
I'm pretty sure it does fade back and he's like, well, I was AWOL.
He has to explain to Jem and the children at home what absent without leave is here.
And they still really don't.
He just says AWOL and that he was dishonorably discharged. Which, you'd think he'd spend some time in military prison. I mean, again, I don't know how that works, but...
It was a different time. Who knows?
A different time. He goes to return home here, even to just explain to his mother what happened, but we already have Riot's dad playing defense against any of that happening
in
here.
the doorway, his legs are spread, his hands are up on the molding, and he's like,
I'm preparing for an earthquake.
You're a disgrace to the uniform, a disgrace to this country, a disgrace to us. Here's where my joke about stealing the Jeep would have fit in.
So levels of importance, according to Riot's dad. 1. Military.
2.
US of A.
3.
People.
Huh. Yeah, that seems about it. That checks out with what we know of him so far.
From now on, I have no son.
Why didn't they try to have any other kids when he found out so early that he hated Riot?
I'm reminded of Rocko's Modern Life again here, Kristen, and man, I wish Riot's dad was Ed Big Head.
It would make him more charming, at least.
He would also have been voiced by Charlie Adler.
Missed opportunity.
Kristen, did you know Charlie Adler did both Ed and Bev Big Head?
I think we talked about that very early on in this podcast.
I love Charlie Adler, Kristen. Why isn't he in this cartoon more?
That's a great question.
We've been Ericless almost all season.
He doesn't have a hot man voice, unfortunately. He has a creepy frog person voice. Which is what Tech Rat is.
Riot leaves. He somehow managed to work his way back to Europe. We see him washing dishes in, like, one short cut here.
You could afford to get a plane ticket back to Germany by washing dishes in the 80s. Fuck off.
He also rejoins Nirvana here, who all of them are basically... It looks like they're standing on stage all sad here, and I'm assuming it's the same stage that he got arrested like 4 or 5 months ago, probably.
We've just been here, in stasis.
Riot was determined that nobody else was going to control his life from here on out, which I think, Kristen, I don't know if this is supposed to be the turning point of, now I'm going to be an asshole.
I was going to say, is this where he makes the active decision to become a sociopath?
Because, again, this is the only thing that we have where it's like Riot, where everything else is out of Riot's control, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Where he's like, I'm going to strengthen my resolve to be a dick.
And he does that first by trying to kick other people out of his band that isn't his.
The lead guy stops Riot's playing during practice and is just like, hey, you gotta remember, you bloke, your backup guitar.
And that was Jetta's dad.
But I'm better than that. Which is true. I'm better than you, which is also true.
Meg slides in and she's like, yeah, that seems like it's true. People didn't like us as much once Riot left. We had a hole for a man that had very long hair and it's filled again. And that seems to be what people like. Maybe let him play lead guitar.
And Suspender's band leader is like, whoa, hold the fuck up. You aren't taking over my band.
And Riot just straight up goes, okay, then I'm going to leave and I'm going to start my own band.
With blackjack and hookers.
And Whalers on the Moon.
Minx realizes she can't let a good thing slip out of her grip here, so she quits too, leaving with Riot. And then, Kristen, we get my favorite part of the episode, where we just we had our humanizing Minx episode.
Yes.
We have our humanizing Riot episode. Our Rapture episode was her nearly drowning. And
oh my god, are we going to hear a little bit about the circumstances that Rapture was living in before we met them? Maybe give us an idea of why she is the way that she is?
Rapture soon joined us after that.
Is that it?
That's it!
They bothered to give Minx a backstory as well. And Rapture's here too. We found another blonde lady, and there were 3 blonde of us.
They see 2 blonde people hanging out, and Rapture just goes over, I'm Rapture. I'm a bullshitter from Davenport, Iowa, and I want to wear Saiyan armor in a band.
You're hired!
Nobody was willing to give this new group a chance, Kristen. They were forced to spend winter playing in the streets, just so they could get money to eat.
And we see a thing of, like, Riot giving Rapture his coat because it's cold, because it's Germany, I guess.
Kristen, it's a hard life, which is...
It's a hard knock life?
The second song of the evening here.
I want Riot's chest to shine, like the top of the Chrysler building.
Fuck, I forgot who plays Miss Hannigan in the Annie movie. Shit. It's Carol... Fuck. It's the comedian lady. Fuck. Carol something.
Carol Streep.
Carol Streep. Out of Africa.
Yeah!
Anyway, it's a hard life here, Kristen. We have Rapture playing tambourine is the first thing that I noticed because I guess she couldn't afford a guitar.
I guess so.
Wait a minute, Minx is the keyboard player.
She couldn't afford a second guitar.
We've got Riot at 50% opacity here with visions of his dad. The Stingers all running. We've got the Stingers sleeping in snowy streets here, Kristen, having group sex just to stay warm.
It's so sad!
That's how it happened. It was a part of their daily life, and now they can't escape from it.
Slow burn. They draw bigger crowds, and that's kind of the music video.
All it is just, it's showing that the Stingers got big. I mean, we know that the Stingers are a big band, but here we are. Here's how they got big. They were playing in the streets, and then they were playing...
Their metal is what... They steeled themselves, and they got super popular. And they were really hot, so that helped.
They were, touring Europe here. Finally just playing stadium shows in Europe, and after the song ends, because really it's a bit of a nothing song, to be honest, but I among the Stinger songs, I'd say it's my least favorite.
Aw, harsh.
We join Rapture and Riot in makeup here, just kind of putting on...
Powdering their faces. Minx kicks down the door. Oh, we've been invited. I don't remember what her fucking accent is. to play Le Club Cool in the U.S.
No thanks, Countess.
I don't know what the fuck her accent is when I'm not saying you stupid American.
Because none of them are stupid Americans. Actually, both of them are. Wait a minute.
Hey, you stupid Americans. I mean, band members. It's me, the Countess. Le Club Cool. See, I was sabotaged because it says Le Club Cool, and that makes me want to do a French accent. Anyway, they got invited to play in the U.S.
If you remember, Kristen, Le Club Cool is the place from The Stingers Hit Town.
I do remember.
And thus, things come full circle here, except for the part where the Stingers are all assholes.
Yeah, they seemed like they were probably fine. I guess we missed the part where they had a pep talk in the airport when they got to LA, and they were like, okay, so we need to act like dicks.
This is America. That pansy-European shit isn't gonna fly here. We need to be our worst versions of ourselves here.
We need to act like Americans, which should be easy because 2 of us are.
They didn't, yeah, like, during It's a Hard, Hard Life, they didn't, like, bullshit or con anybody or anything, so...
That would have been a great time to show them, like, so, even though, because they couldn't get gigs at first because they were nobodies, it is an informed fact that the Stingers are very talented, and it's just true that they're very hot.
Yes.
So if we want to give them a backstory where it's like, it's sympathetic, but this is also how they became dicks, kind of. It's like, oh, but they were really good, but they had to do underhanded things to get to where they were.
It would be nice.
Christy Marks! Roger Slifer! Hey! Go back in time and fix it.
We see sunrise at this point here, Kristen. Jem is like, that's quite a story. But why are you such a vain dickhead?
Jem is like, oh, we've literally been talking all, oh my god, how much coffee did I drink? She looks at her hand and she sees 5 of her hand. And then she's like, I should probably go.
Jem notes that it is morning, and Riot says, oh, I didn't mean to keep you here so long. Keep talking to you anyway. I totally meant to have sex with you, but,
I forgot because I got sad. Jem calls his story very interesting, which doesn't seem like the right words to use. Sounds like he was telling her a fun story.
She thinks she understands Riot a bit better now, and then goes in for a kiss! And then Riot turns away.
Hey, Jem, where's your boyfriend? Hey, Jem, where's your boyfriend?
Riot is the one that turns away here, Kristen.
I know. Rio's vengeful spirit possesses him. Cracks his neck like, nuh-uh, not on my watch.
He needs to go to the hospital to check up on his mom, and Jem again goes, I'll drive. Stop.
Without any sleep?
Stop doing that.
Take a taxi.
We cut to the hospital room where Riot's mom has woken up at this point. Dad is there just going, hey, everything's gonna be alright.
I'm in the talks about hiring a hitman to kill our son, so don't worry, it'll all be over soon.
Riot arrives, relieved to hear that she'll be alright, and immediately Riot and Dad Riot start yelling at one another again about God knows what, because who gives a shit?
So the doctors are like, oh no, Riot's mom, are you okay? And she is so averse to yelling that she flatlines.
End of segment 2. Riot's dad implies that Riot's mere presence killed his mom as we just get the flatlining sound in the background here.
So what I like when segment 3 starts is that they don't really explicitly explain what they did to stabilize Riot's mom. One doctor appears to be holding defibrillators. But also, they just kind of adjust her, and it makes me think, like, that her heart monitor just fell off of her finger.
I was gonna say, one of the nurses, it looks like, is kind of, like, smacking the TV set that shows her flatlining, and then it just starts going up again. It's like, oh, no, we're good now. Don't worry.
She's fine. It was just the equipment. Don't worry, kids.
So the doctor tells Riot and his dad to get the fuck out of the room until the patient recovers. If she recovers.
Ah, rude.
They leave the hospital still screaming at each other until Jem is finally like, Jesus Christ, can you stop? Oh my god.
So they drive Jem away before she can also pass out and almost die, because she's a woman. And they go back to Starlight Mansion where Jem is venting to the holograms about her Riot problems.
This scene lasts a very short amount of time because all it is basically, it's like, I've never been more frustrated in my life.
This isn't my problem, but I'm making it my problem.
And then Ray goes, well, if you really want to make it your problem, go talk to the mom. And Jem goes, oh shit, yeah, let's do that.
I'm gonna break into a hospital room.
And then Aja is about to pipe up, but Jem's already running out the door. And then all the holograms are kind of looking at each other. And
no lines for you, Aja.
And then Shayna comes back and is just like, I've got the game of life! And then they all sit down, and I'd much rather watch all of the holograms minus Jem play the game of life.
Me too. Though Kimber might complain the whole time.
So we see Jem at the hospital here now, Kristen, and she showtime synergies into a nurse. A pink-haired nurse. Literally Jem in a nurse outfit.
Perfect. The ultimate disguise. All she needs is also an eye patch and to start whistling.
She overhears the doctor say that Riot's mom does not have the will to live, and they can't help her if she can't help herself. 80s medicine, everybody!
Woo! Dr. House would have something different to say about this.
Seriously, though, it's probably the doctor's fault for being an asshole.
Probably. Also Riot's dad's fault, definitely.
Yes, also, of course. So, Jem goes into the room here to talk to Riot's mom, and it's like, hey, so, how you doing there, champ? She's like, I'm tired. Tired of holding a family together that's coming apart at the seams.
They cut out the part where Mildred also mentions that she's been swallowing razor blades. Weird stress reaction.
The family has been split apart for a long time, lady. This ain't a new thing, I guess.
Yeah, no, this is not just suddenly happening. Anyway. So we go to the Llewellyn family household, where I guess there's only one person there now.
I've driven away everyone I love.
Just him and trying to find the bottom of a bottle of whiskey.
Riot's dad is looking over the album, too, as Jem approaches, that he drudged out of the pool, I guess.
He put it in a big pile of white rice to dry it off.
And he's just like, oh, did Rory set you up to this?
Jem's like, no, I'm an idiot, so I came here because I'm gonna fix your family, I guess.
This is a very fun exchange, too, as well, because Jem sits down and is like, no, this is about your wife. And Riot's dad is like, oh, shit, is she dead? And
Jem seizes this opportunity. She sees her goal and she grabs it. And she goes, no, not yet. But you and Riot are killing her.
I love how Jem's response to this is, no, not yet. As if, I mean, again, she does take the...
Hey, she is as educated as an 80s doctor in medicine.
She does follow through here. Yes, with you and Riot are killing her. And the response to this is, it's not my fault her son is weak, playing in a rock band.
Man, can I tell you, one of the verbal tics in anything that irritates me the most is, your son, her son. He's half you too, buddy.
It's your son too, dude. Yeah.
Idiot. I hate this guy so much. Why are we wasting time on this when Aja never got an episode?
Jem says that Riot is one of the finest musicians in the world, and he worked hard to get that. And
yeah, right.
Jem tells the tale of Riot playing for pennies in Europe for 6 months. He wasn't willing to give up. Somebody had to instill that value in him.
If not the value to, stand for the fucking national anthem and fight for his goddamn country.
Didn't give him the resolve to, not go AWOL.
Nope. But apparently, as far as music goes, someone taught him not to be a quitter, and that person is his mom, who kept buying him guitars no matter how many of them got smashed.
Jem says that Riot's dad should go to the next Stingers concert and see.
No!
In fact, Riot's dad, very quickly, again, much like that, Jem barely finishes their sentence. Never!
Well, think about it. I'm gonna leave now because you're making me uncomfortable. Do it for your dying wife, maybe.
Riot's dad looks over the soaked Stingers album cover and decides, what's the harm? Fuck it.
I'll go in uniform.
Fade to Riot, playing an electric guitar that is not plugged into anything.
Now we're at Casa de Riot.
My favorite trope, my favorite Jem trope. Jem arrives, Riot invites her in, and is like, well, you might not want to invite me in after I tell you what I did. So, hey, remember your dad? Remember that guy?
Hey, him, the dick. Wow. I think you guys should kind of patch things up.
Why should I make an effort? He never has.
Jem says, put some effort into it, buddy. You're an adult.
We fade to a Stingers concert. We see Riot's dad taking a seat, and some dude is like, whoa, check out Grandpa. He's a Stingers fan. Oh, give me 5, dude.
I'm making friends immediately. Riot's dad goes, not on your life. Get a job.
And the guy's just like, I wanted to shake your hand.
And I guess to his credit, he goes, oh, sorry. And hey, like, this Stingers fan did not approach Riot's dad in the best way because, hey, check it out, Grandpa is a Stingers fan. Does kind of sound like he's asking the rest of the crowd to jeer at him.
It kind of does.
But they become friends, sort of.
They do, yeah. Knee-jerk reaction from Riot's dad here, I guess. And as the crowd cheers for the Stingers, he's like, Stingers are pretty popular, huh?
And the guy says they're number 1, especially Riot. That guy is ace. Ooh, this guy's in love. There's 2 super hot girls in this band, and he's like, Riot's the best.
He came there with a lady. He's got a lady with him, and he's just like, oh, Riot, oh my god.
I love you. At this point, Riot's dad turns to this guy, and he's like, you seem to be about the right age. Do you want to be my new son? I'm kind of in the market for a new son.
How do you feel about the military?
You look good with a shaved head.
The Stingers take the stage here, and we have song number 3 of the evening, Take It or Leave It. Oh no, I'm sorry. Let Me Be.
Ah, the sad version.
Which we'll play for you right now.
Let me be the man I meant to be. Let me be, though I may not suit you perfectly. Set me free to follow my own star. Can't you see we are who we are? There's room to grow and love to show. We'll make it, you and me. All I ask of you is let me be. Let me grow, let me show you more of what I know. Let me fly, let me touch your heart and make you cry. Set me free to find my own star. Set me free, can't you see? We are.
Kristen, Let Me Be is a song that gets me. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh,
It just hits me right in the pointing at my chest,
I was gonna say, clarify immediately where you're pointing.
right into the temple with a bullet.
I am, maybe if it were someone I actually cared about, this would get me. Yo, I don't give a shit about Riot.
We see Riot's dad all cross-armed at the beginning of the song, but he smiles and remembers the good times with child Riot, where we see he's kind of like playing with a basketball or something, and he helps Riot up to slam dunk!
Then he accidentally throws the basketball into the pool and he gets backhanded.
And he accidentally throws Riot into the basketball hoop.
Oh, and then he just hangs there for a while, upside down.
Slam dunks his child.
Boom.
We see Riot remembering a different type of life of him playing with piano. Look at Banner, Michael! And his dad getting all pissy about it here. We've got the thing of Riot walking as a child, turning into his military look. He's grown up as a person, Kristen.
It's the Father's Day thing, except with someone growing up instead of Emmett Benton stone cold dying.
Riot's dad sees the effect the music is having on all the people as they take out their lighters and do the lighter thing. Wow, how old must the lighter thing seem nowadays, Kristen?
I feel like by the time I was in middle school and going to my first concerts, it was already an established thing. You use cell phones instead of lighters. Hey, fuck you, Big Tobacco. We don't need you.
Fuck you, Zippo.
Maybe another time. Right now, electronics.
Fuck you, Bic. Does Bic make lighters? Wait a minute.
That sounds right.
Because
Oh wait, nope,
pens
that's
too.
Yeah, that's pens.
Maybe Bic does make lighters.
Anyway.
Maybe it's the plastic they use. Who cares? Whatever.
Anyway. Anyway.
The song ends here, and the dude is like, "See what I mean? He's ace."
Yeah.
So we cut backstage where Riot's dad pushes to the front of the line here, thinking he can get through security as they're, as they're like, "Oh, backstage is off limits, sir." It's like, "Oh, Riot's my son."
And Madonna's my sister. Take a hike. Hold on. Who?
I think they mean Luna Dark.
I almost said Cherry's Jubilee.
So Jem is backstage at the Stingers concert for some reason, Kristen,
I'm here too. She was staking out Riot's dad.
to make this plan take effect. So she vouches for Riot's dad, confirming that what he's saying is true, and the guy who's just like, "And Madonna's my sister," is like, oh shit, oh, right this way, sir, please, right this way. Please, I'm not fired, please, right this way.
Oh god. So he stumbles into the Stingers' locker room, and it gets awkward for a second because the Stingers were just waiting for their groupies.
And in the first groupie for Stingers Fun Time. Oh, it's my dad. Oh god.
no.
Oh no, we weren't no.
Minx, put your clothes back on.
We weren't talking about anything. We were just talking about the Bible.
Minx, not my dad.
And Minx is just like, Riot, please, can you leave the room or something? Because it's going to happen.
They have to put her in a straitjacket and haul her away.
So Riot is clearly surprised to see him. And, for more than just the reason of just like, oh shit, I don't want to have sex with him.
Dad goes, I was in the neighborhood.
He does the very dad answer of, yes, hey, I was in the neighborhood. And Riot goes, did you happen to catch the show?
Seem to have a lot of fans. I guess you do have a bit of talent after all.
That's right. Should punch him in the motherfucking face.
Oh, these men, they can't be honest about their feelings, Joe.
So basically, that's the extent of him...
Sorry I abused you your whole life.
Him saying sorry for, just kind of being like... "Huh?" So,
And Riot ends up being like, I was also unreasonable. What? Like, he went AWOL and that sucked, but that was kind of it.
He says that they should probably go up to the hospital to check on their mom here, and Riot's like, you know what? Yeah, we should. So Riot and his dad apologize to Mildred here. You know, hey, we've been selfish, but you're the most important person in the world.
They make a lot of we and us statements.
You know, until you get better, we gotta make sure to make up for all the problems that we caused for you. Is that okay? And she's like, it is! And they all hug, and the last shot of the episode is Jem going, hey, I'm in the cartoon too.
Is this Jem and the Holograms or what? Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
That's the end, Kristen. That was Riot's Hope. I understand this is a cartoon called Jem, but did you really need to play Millionaire Matchmaker here?
Interesting way to put it.
I just mean, like, getting in there and being like, I'm gonna be the driving force to bring Riot's family back together.
Let's get these hands dirty, whereas, Aja is in her own subplot this episode where she got a letter from her long-lost sister.
Oh, I was gonna say brother. Shit. And that long-lost sister can be found on fanfiction.net.
Why, Aja?
Didn't I read somewhere, Kristen, that fanfiction.net banned stories about, like, long-lost siblings?
That doesn't sound right. That place is like the Wild West, Joe.
Some place that hosts fanfiction banned those kind of stories because they're incredibly overplayed. So, Kristen, what did you think of Riot's Hope?
I'm pissed off. Joe, I don't give a shit about Riot.
That we have this episode as the penultimate episode of the series.
Yes, this is the penultimate supper. And I hate it. Also, I hate the character of Riot's dad. If they really wanted to please me, he should have died at the end of the episode. Redemption through death.
Kristen, would it have been different if he did die, but he died for his country in the war?
That might have annoyed me more. It's just, again, I cannot help but feel like we are spinning wheels at this point. If this season were longer, sure. This season at the length that it's at, Joe, the Stingers should not exist.
Maybe there was some kind of thing where they needed to humanize the Stingers and, like, they realized this was the end, like, but the Stingers have just been assholes. Because, I mean, like you said, the Stingers are they get more than the Misfits in terms of characterization, at least, but, like, I mean, we still get flashes of it, which is, like, Harvey Gabor is kind of an asshole.
Yeah, like, so when it's the Stingers, Riot gets to have, oh, well, this is why Riot is the way that he is, and for all we can tell at the end of the episode, he's kind of a better person now. Whereas with the Misfits just get shit on, and that's how they wrap up the Misfits as characters.
Harvey Gabor tries to patch things up with Pizzazz, and
Pizzazz eats him.
Pizzazz eats him, and yeah, we don't get Jem trying to play Millionaire Matchmaker there.
No. They put a little bit of effort into it in the Father's Day episode, but then immediately gave up. Jem wasn't giving up here. It's because she wants to sleep with Riot and not Pizzazz. That's not fair.
Roger Slifer, it's not fair.
The secret the whole time was that Jem is motivated by sex only. What a twist.
Now's the point in the evening where I'll list off all of the fun contact things, where you can find us. You can follow us on the Twitter machine at cwtapod. You could follow me at Octopus. That is AWKTAPUS.
You can follow me at FunnyGirlTM, like trademark.
You could find us on the iTunes, on the SoundCloud, on the Stitcher Radio, on the YouTube, and for a thing that we did that nobody's going to be able to watch because I didn't actually record it.
We don't know how to use Twitch.
We used Twitch once, and hey, we'll probably use it again a few times. So, again, you can find us on Twitch, but there's not going to be anything there currently. So
Just keep an eye out. We will send out tweets at the appropriate time when we are streaming. Also, check out my Twitter for my thoughts as I continue to attempt to get up to speed with Sonic Adventure 2.
leave a rating, give a review, do whatever you feel like. You could also drop us a line, cwtapod@gmail.com, where you can tell us all about how piano is for sissies and girls, and life-changing decisions that would require you to go AWOL without a second thought. Kristen, what would... If you had to go AWOL from the army, what would you need to do? Tour with a Korean Idol group?
In my daydreams where I think about if I had the perfect life, what would I do? It would definitely involve designing costumes for girl groups. So that could be it.
So say you were designing military wear, and your favorite group of ladies, or your favorite company that hosts a lots of group of ladies, we'll say.
See, I don't know if I would want to be beholden to a company specifically, because they skeeve me out a little bit.
Well, that's true.
So, hey, twice specifically, I know none of you guys speak English.
So,
Give me a call.
Give her a call, why not? Next week, Kristen, due to the fact that our schedule for Sonic got kind of fucky and shit, we won't be presenting the last episode of Jem, because it will fall right in line with Halloween. We will be recording a movie for the CWTA Halloween special, which we actually just chose minutes ago!
It's Buffy again!
That it would be John Carpenter's The Thing, from 1982. It's a creepy-ass movie, but I love it.
I've never
It's a good
seen it.
movie.
I just miss my boyfriend, Kurt Russell.
So get ready for that. For the Can We Talk About podcast, my name is Joe.
I am Kristen.
And join us next week for what I wrote here as spooky Halloween hijinks. But Kristen, get ready for body horror!
Oh no. Now I'm not so sure about this. Uncertainty is in the mail.